Welcome to Screen Orb. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 actors who treat fellow cast members like trash. There are some pretty nice, good-hearted actors out there, and then there are some mean, difficult, downright rude ones as well. This video will focus on the latter type, and some of the names on this list may surprise you, from a Christmas vacationer to a versatile, ever-changing morphable method actor. All to these actors are some of the most difficult to work with. Sit back and get comfy and get ready for our list. Number 10. William Shatner. Oh, William Shatner, the man who once portrayed Captain Kirk on the beloved Star Trek series, has certainly had a colourful career prior to starring in the new hit show loved by millions. His acting credits were building with the movies and TV shows, but it was Star Trek that brought him into the spotlight. Following the cancellation of the show, he continued getting parts, but his career eventually slowed down for a while. He's seen a resurgence in the last few decades, but that doesn't mean he's an easy actor to work with. According to some of his Trek castmates, he's kind of an attention hog, and he'll do things like steal the lines of others, act jealous if anyone outshined him, and constantly make himself the center of attention. Now he's pretty much known as the guy from Priceline commercials, and you know, that has to be a big blow to his ego. Number 9. Shia LaBeouf. Once upon a time ago, not too long ago, the star Shia LaBeouf was on the rise, and it seemed like nobody in Hollywood would be able to stop him. Technically, nobody else stopped him in his tracks because he managed to do it himself. They even Steffens and Transformers star got movie after movie, and even got to act with Harrison Ford portraying the son of Indiana Jones. The big problem is, in his recent years, it's been reported that LaBeouf is acting to work with not only because he considers himself a method actor, but because he's apparently got a testy temper too. He had a feud that played out before the public with ALEC Baldwin, another not so easy to work with actor. He reportedly fought Tom Hardy off the set of Lawless, the Tom Hardy who looks like he could break LaBeouf despite his immense talent these days. He's not exactly the guy directors and executives want to work with. Number 8. Chevy Chase. Oh boy, Chevy Chase is one of the biggest, most well-known comedians from about the 1970s and on. He's arguably one of the best comedic actors of all time, but that doesn't mean that he's easy to work with. He started out with a few shorts and then made the cast of Saturday Night Live in its debut season in 1975. And even way back when he was known to be difficult, when he left the show after just a year, none of his castmates minded much, considering it's been reported that he would antagonize and be rude, even to them when he showed up. In Caddyshack, he found himself acting with Bill Murray. Yet again, a guy he's had a feud with over the years. There were even reports of some physical altercations between the two, but this is all made for a genuinely excellent awkward scene between their two actors. Many actors have spoken about his cold, rude demeanor, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens to him in the future. It kinda stinks to find out old Sparky is a big old jerk, doesn't it? It's such a shame. Number 7. Charlie Sheen. Is this supposed to surprise anyone? It's Charlie Sheen, the guy who's known for his antics and craziness, and partying. And do we go on back in the day? Sheen was a pretty hot commodity and appeared in many things starting in the mid-70s. But it wasn't until the mid-80s that his career really took off. He managed to keep a steady career from then on out, and eventually landed the starring role as funny man Charlie Harper on 2.5 Men. By this time, Sheen's behavior was well established and even began catching up with him. Who wants to work with an unpredictable, sometimes angry and crazy drug addict? He was eventually forced from his sitcom and is now more of a legend for his wild behavior than for his acting. And he is reportedly sober now. Number 6. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal rose to fame back in the 1990s after he moved to Los Angeles from Japan, where he had studied Aikido, a popular Japanese martial arts. When he arrived in LA, he got a gig, training actors in the art for films, and he once accidentally broke the wrist of Sean Connery. He then went on to star in action films himself and became an action star for a relatively short amount of time. His most famous movie, Under Siege, was a fairly decent box office success, but it didn't help his career all that much. Seagal is known for being a rough character and not all that pleasant to work with. Over the years, his stories have come to light of physical, mental, and other kinds of abuse to cast members, and others by Seagal, which hasn't left him with the best reputation. Pair that with his subpar hockey acting, and you've got a guy not many people want to work with these days. Number 5. Bruce Willis. Here we have another action star. Bruce Willis is well known for his hardened image and his excellent action moves, but did you know he started his career as more of a comedic actor? It was Die Hard, the classic Christmas shootout film that helped him break into the fast-paced, guns-blazing realm of action, and he managed to become a massive name in Hollywood in the 90s, with sequels to Die Hard and movies like The Sixth Sense, The Fifth Element, and Armageddon. He also threw in some comedies in that time period as well, but in his late years his reputation of being somewhat difficult to work with began to come to light, with director Kevin Smith even saying working with Willis was soul-crushing. He's had feuds with many over the years, including but not limited to Sylvester Stallone, Michael Bay and Sybil Shepherd. We sure do wonder what happened to his career. Number 4. Edward Norton. This one is sad considering he's such an incredibly talented actor. Edward Norton, the guy from such movies as Fight Club, Primal Fear, American History X, and Birdman, is and has been for a long time reportedly a big old jerk. One big problem with him, he's supposedly a major control freak and tries to control a lot of the projects he decides to do. That doesn't sound so bad because he is an artist after all, but he seems to forget that directing a lot of these films isn't his job. He seems to step on toes everywhere he goes, like the time he starred in The Incredible Hulk. He was reportedly a script writer on the movie, although uncredited and controlling throughout the process of making the film. So he was recast for the Avengers movie and left behind in the dust. He's talented, but he doesn't get many roles anymore. We wonder why. Number 3. Dustin Hoffman. Much like Edward Norton, Dustin Hoffman is reportedly a perfectionist and insists on doing things the way he sees them being done. The actor shot up to fame way back in 1967 with The Graduate, but that was nowhere near his first acting gig. Hoffman had been a stage actor for some time before the role came along, and even tried to suppress his own fame following the critically acclaimed movie. He turned down multiple roles and directors in order to ensure his star wouldn't get too big. However, not long after, he got a bunch of parts in successful films, and his star became bright anyway. It's been said that Hoffman can be difficult and a chore to work with, as his perfectionism got in the way of rationality. He would apparently demand scenes be reshot if he didn't like them, and there were shouting matches between him and director Sidney Pollack, which is pretty common knowledge. He's a great actor, but even the greats can lose respect by being difficult to work with. Number 2. Russell Crowe. Good old Rusty has starred in and made appearances in a slew of great movies since he began acting way back in the 1970s. Think A Beautiful Mind, Gladiator and Les Miserables, but the New Zealander is pretty notorious for not being the nicest guy in business, although it hasn't seemed to affect his career all that much. He once reportedly called producer Branko Lustig in the dead of night and said some not so very nice things. He's belittled interviewers and had outbursts, and supposedly gotten into spats on set. However, there's no tangible proof to back up these claims. However, he did once treat an interviewer terribly. On the red carpet of a movie premiere, an interviewer who just so happened to be a young Juliana Rancic, she opened up about it and let it be known that Crowe was her meanest celebrity interviewer ever. Number 1. Alec Baldwin. Well, this is no big surprise to anybody. Alec Baldwin has made headlines for what seems like forever, for being quite the mean guy. He's another one of those celebs that seems to survive their bad reputation and continue to get work, though he's done many things offset that should have derailed his career, like freaking out on a flight attendant when she asked him to shut off his phone, and the time he threw insults at a photographer and hit another. Or when he told a reporter he'd like to choke her and hit another reporter with his bike. Maybe the drunken voicemail he left for his young daughter comes to mind. He's also reported to be pretty bad on the set as well. While filming 30 Rock, he would complain about pointless things, yell and berate the casting crew, and show up late without a care in the world. He's hard to work with and many don't like him, so how has he survived so long? We've seen a lot of difficult to work with actors so far, so now we'd like to ask who's an actor not on this list and you feel like could be a jerk in person. Are there any you know of that we've missed? Let us know in the comments below so we can consider them for future videos. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and like the video for more amazing content. And don't forget to check out the other 2 videos you see on screen.